her story. This is her story. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful. This is her story. Her story. This is her story. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful. This is her story.
Welcome to another episode of Hashtag Her Chosen Story. Without any delays, we have a very, very special guest, very dear to me, very, very dear to me, very close to me, and we've known each other for many years, believe it or not. And I'm just excited to have her here as a guest on our platform. And she's going to share her story and her love for travel and all the things in between. So at this time, please help me welcome Mrs. Patricia Bowen to the stage.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am fabulous, thank you.
I knew that would have been your answer. And if anybody don't know you, that would have been the answer. So,
there's nothing else that I can say. It doesn't matter what's going on. You know, a lot of people say to me, well, how can you be fabulous at this time? Or how can you be fabulous when you're sick? And I really determined within myself that I am fabulous because I am alive, I am healthy, I have a roof over my head, and God has been good to me. So I'm fabulous in spite of.
I love that. I love that. And I'm never tired of it. So never think that, oh, here she goes with the fabulous.
But here's the thing also, whenever I say I'm fabulous, it puts a smile on someone's face.
Exactly.
And when they say to me, oh, I could never say that, I said, just say it. Just speak it. And then they say, and then they start laughing. I said, see, puts a smile on your face.
There you go. So tell us about, I mean, again, I introduced you just a little, letting people know that I know you, but then who are you? Who is Pat? And yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself and then we'll jump right into some questions.
Yeah, well, I guess everybody knows me, but they don't know me.
Right.
Because I'm just this person that I just come, I do, you see me, and I go, you know. So the story behind me or whatever I've done in my life, not a lot of people know. So I'll share little bits and pieces just to give a little bit more background as to who I am. Yeah. So my name is Patricia Bowen, born Beverly Clark. Yes, it's out. I've let it out. I was born and raised in London, England, with Jamaican parents. I have 4 brothers. I had 2 sisters. Unfortunately, my sister passed away last week. So the last week has not been, I don't even know what to say. It's just been a rough, mentally rough week. But I'm still fabulous because I was
just going to say, here you are being fabulous in spite of. So for anyone out there that might be grieving or may have lost someone, just remember you can still be fabulous.
You can still be fabulous. Yeah. I mean, I miss her and, you know, it's just crazy, you know, just knowing that, trying to process it, that she's no longer with us. That hasn't happened yet. So, you know, just trying to deal with that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, so she passed away last week. My mother passed away 2 years ago. So it's just been back to back, you know, but still, like I said, I'm fabulous and I'm giving God thanks because he's kept me and he's keeping us, you know. I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather. And so, you know, I had a very strict upbringing. My grandmother was the caretaker of the church. So I was raised in the church from I was 3 years old. I lived upstairs of the church. I looked down into the church. If I was in my bed and they were singing a song, I had no choice but to sing and pray and everything. I was always in church. So this is my life, you know, so I know nothing else. Of course, as you get a little older, you try to hang out with friends and try to do what they do. But it all comes back to the foundation. And so that's my life. What else? I accepted the Lord as my personal savior when I was 11 years of age.
Nice.
During Easter. But they wouldn't let me get baptized because they said I was too young. So I didn't get baptized until I was 17.
Okay.
But still, I was in the church. Like I said, I was living upstairs, had no choice.
Right. Yeah. What age were you there until living upstairs
at the church? As a matter of fact, 17.
Okay.
We moved out. Yeah, we moved out and moved far away. Well, distance. Yeah, at the age of 17. Yeah. So no, that's not true. That's not true. 15.
Okay.
I apologize. Yeah, 15. Yeah, because I remember going to school from my new house. So had to take the bus and everything like that. Yeah. So I was 15 when we moved from there. But from 3 to 15, that's the majority of your growing up life. Yeah.
Yeah. And when did you migrate to the States? And, I'm going to plug some questions in regards to your love for travel. I don't have the topic up, but I'll put it up somewhere during the show. But, what was that transition like, migrating from home to now a whole different country?
Well, see, there's a lot that transpired before all of that. So when I was 14, that was the first time that I ever got on a plane, and we went from London to France.
Okay.
And we went skiing in the south of France. And when I got on the bus to leave to get to the plane, I was a little nervous, but Mom and Granny was there to wave me on, and I'll never forget the song that was playing on the bus. It was by Elton John. Daniel. Daniel's driving tonight on a plane. I can see Daniel waving goodbye because it looks like Daniel never seen the clouds in the sky. And that has resonated with me because that's exactly what was going on with me. I'm looking out the window, mom and Granny is waving at me, and I get on this plane. So that song always stuck with me.
Yeah.
But I remember once I got to France and I came back, I told my grandmother, I said, I'm going to travel the world.
I love it.
I like it. And that's how my love for travel started. So I migrated to the States in 1986.
Okay.
But that was after traveling.
So much.
I traveled to Jamaica. I traveled to Germany. I traveled to Sweden, France, Amsterdam, Wales, you name it. I was just all over the place because Now
I know there's a photo of you, and as you're talking, I could see the photo. You had on one of the big hats. I want to say there was snow. So with the places you just named, it was a black, brown. I forgot the type of hats, but it's the very big. I want to. Have you been to Russia? Did you say Russia?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't been there.
Can you picture the picture I'm thinking of?
No, I'm trying to figure out which picture that is. I'd love to see that picture. Can't remember. Can't remember.
I think you were by yourself. I'm trying to think if there was anyone else in the photo, but oh man.
I wish you brought it out. You could just put it up and just throw it at me.
I know. So what we'll do, I'll think of the photo, you'll look through your photos, and this was Clivia was talking about, and then I'll put it when we premiere the episode. This is the photo.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So just traveling around. So what made me come to the States was I was working for this company who recruited medical staff to work in Saudi Arabia. So they said to me, just casually, hey, Patricia, you want to go to Saudi? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And she said, okay, well, we'll let you know when. And maybe 2 weeks later, she says, we need your passport. I said, for what? She said, you're going to Saudi. I said, oh, you were serious? She said, yeah. I said, I didn't tell my parents. She says, well, you need to tell them because you're leaving next week. I was just like, I went home. I told my grandmother.
I'm sorry. It was the photo. You had on the sari and the...
Oh, the habaya.
Yes, that is the quote. It was not Moscow or Russia or
No, it was Saudi. Oh, I had the
that's the
habaya
one.
on. It's all black with the gold
Yes,
trim.
I love
Yeah,
that photo. Yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I went home. I told my parents. My grandmother's like, sure, no problem. My mother was like, no, you're not going.
Mm-hmm.
No. And that was because there was an incident maybe like 3 or 4 weeks prior to that, where a young lady from England went to Saudi and they found her dead.
Mm.
And the parents are saying she was killed, and everyone was saying that she just was drinking excessively and
Right.
fell over the balcony.
Oh
So my
wow.
mother's like, no, you're not going, you're
Yeah,
not going. But I
yeah.
said, but Granny said I could go. And so because I lived with Granny, I was able to convince my
Right.
mother I was going. So I went. And the interesting thing is that you have 3 days of orientation, and it's a list of don't
Mm,
do this, don't do that. So basically, as a single woman, you're not supposed to be in the company of single men unless
mm,
there is a married couple in the group.
really.
You don't walk on your own, never. You always get
Mhm.
on a bus from point A to point B, never walk anywhere.
Mm,
Um, you don't get in the car with anyone that's single. You don't go to the parties. There's no religious activities, only Muslim.
mhm.
There was just a lot of don'ts.
Yeah.
And we had these 3 days of don'ts. And when we'd done that, all the guys that had been there before us, they said, okay, so you've got the orientation as they have it, but there's
Mhm.
one that they don't tell you. And I'm like, and we're all standing there, and we said, well, what is that? And they said, don't get caught. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, what do you mean don't get caught? She said, because everything they told you not to do, you most probably end up doing it, but just don't get caught. I'm like, well, I'm not going to get caught doing anything because I'm not going to do anything because
Yeah.
I Miss Goody Two Shoes is who I am. Yeah, that changed. That changed. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But so
Wow.
that's how. So when I left Saudi, I came back home to England, and after a year, I said, I need to go somewhere different
Mm, mhm.
because Saudi was restricted. You couldn't
Yeah.
do this, you couldn't do that. So I said, so I wrote a letter to my aunt. So as you can tell, I wrote a letter. There was no cell phones.
Right.
So call in.
No
It was
email.
no email. You write a letter and you wait for the letter to come back. And I
Right.
wrote to my cousin and said, could I come and spend some time? And she said, sure.
Mm,
And so that's how I ended up in the States. I came for a year, mind you,
okay.
and we are now at 39 years.
Wow. 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 Yeah. And I mean, to think you said 1986, I was 1 and now I'm 40. So,
Well,
wow.
there you go.
I'm like, oh, that's a long
There you
time.
go. Yeah,
But I
it's a
mean,
long
you
time.
lived, I mean, you travel and still traveling. So now we're talking business owner of Footloose Travel. Like
That's right.
obviously the love for travel from just that one experience at 14. I remember my first solo trip. I graduated with my associates and I'm like, I want to be grown. I want to go somewhere. So I did fly to Miami and I spent it was a couple of days with my aunt and cousin, and it
Mhm.
was nice. And I fell in love with the
Mhm.
clouds. I've always been nervous, but it was just so beautiful. And I'm like, I can do
Yes,
this again, So I see how you fell in love with that. So one of the
absolutely.
questions I have is how do you see God's hand guiding you through the decision of starting Footloose Travel?
So, as I said, when I think of all the travels that I've done, um, it was really a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I was presented with this opportunity to start my own travel business,
Hmm.
and it was quite a while ago. It's about maybe 15 years ago, and at the time, obviously, I didn't know too much about the travel business. I just knew how to book my travel and get on the plane and go wherever I'm going.
Hmm.
But just the idea that I could have my own travel business, and
Right.
that means that I could travel and get discount travel, and I could go to places that I wouldn't even think about going. I was excited about that.
Yeah.
So in the conversation with the person that referred me to it, she's taking my information, and then she said, "What do you want to call your business?" And I had no clue that this is where I needed to go to come up with a name.
Right.
And I said, "Well, I don't know. What would I call it?" And she says, "Well, anything you want to call it." And I said, "Footloose." And
Did you
said,
like the movie?
But you know what it was? It really wasn't based on the movie. It was based on me always going somewhere.
Right.
Well, it's just my foot was loose, and I was just
It makes sense.
just going somewhere. And
yeah.
And it just came to me, Footloose, and I'm like, yeah, Footloose. And it's funny because she said to me, "Oh, you mean the movie?" And I says, "No, I just mean moving, just always going somewhere, always doing something." And so that's how the name came about.
I love that. And I mean, that's even an exciting way to get people. Like, I mean, as we're talking now, I'm just thinking of having, it has nothing to do with the movie, but maybe one of your flyers or advertisement. Of course, it has to be probably copywritten, or it was copywritten, but just to have, like, what was his name? Was it not Travolta?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, John Travolta. Yeah.
It is? Okay. Yeah. So to have him on your flyer, but like you on an airplane, like just to do it. Yeah, I think that would be so fun, but it makes sense. And I don't think I ever asked you that question, like, why Footloose?
Why Footloose? No.
Your foot was loose. Okay.
Yes, my foot was loose from a long time ago. So yeah, it just made sense.
So when people call you, I'm gonna place your website so people can reach out and book their next.
Okay, I appreciate
destination.
Maybe I should give you maybe I should give you my email address too.
Yes, please. Thank you. When people are, let's say, thinking about vacation, okay, and I'll give an example of myself. I flew, when I flew to Miami, I was in my early 20s, because I know for sure I wasn't married yet. So I was in my early 20s, and I know I was nervous to do it, but I did it. And then we talk about cruises. My first cruise, of course, you planned it when we were part of the church, but just being so nervous and even being on the ship, excited, but still afraid because I cannot swim. To this day, I cannot swim. How do you talk to clients, even for non-believers? Like, how do you convince them, like, this is going to be worthwhile? Put fear aside. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a power of love, and it's not. Like, how does that look to you? Like, how does it sound?
Well, one of the good things about it is that most of the time that when someone is traveling somewhere, I've already done it. So I've had the experience.
Right.
And that helps.
Firsthand,
because if I had never been on a ship, I can't sell it.
Right.
If I've never been to a particular hotel, I can't sell it.
Right.
So educating myself and being able to travel to all these places and experience it myself, I can then share that with you. As an example, cruising. Now, cruising is something that some people just are terrified.
Right.
Terrified. They won't do it. They will not do it. And I'll never forget my husband when, after we got married and we're talking about traveling, we'd go to St. Vincent. And I don't know if you know, St. Vincent has the Grenadine Islands, which are a boat ride away. So there's one called Bequia, which everybody talks about. So everyone was saying to me, "Oh, you've got to go to Bequia. You've got to go to Bequia. Let your husband take you." And I'm like, okay. So every time we go down to St. Vincent, he'd say, "Okay, yeah, we're going to go." And then the morning of, something comes up.
Cancels.
And he cancels. And I never took it for anything. But then one year, his friend said to me, "He's never going to do that." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because he's not going to go on that boat."
Oh, it's too small.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm saying, so how is he going to cruise? So I decided to get him a pass, and they had some ships in Manhattan. And I took him on a tour of a cruise ship in Manhattan.
Okay.
And whilst on the cruise ship, we're walking around, looking at the cabins, looking at the different activities that are on the ship. And then we had lunch, I should say, sat down to eat. And he said, "This feels like I'm in a hotel." And I said, "That's exactly how it feels when you are sailing." I said, "This is exactly how it feels. It's a big hotel on the water, but you don't feel it."
Right.
And he said, "Okay, I'll try it." Can't get him off a ship now.
I know. Every picture I see. Now, question, do they still have that where you can go tour a ship on the dock today?
Yeah, you can. They do today, but it's not as easy as it used to be. There has to be registration. You've got to register. You've got to, they take your ID and they do a background check before you get to the ship. So they do it as though you're sailing.
Yeah. Okay.
But you have to get permission. You've got to do it through an agency. But before that, anyone could just get a group together and you could go, but you can't do that anymore. So it's possible, but there are restrictions now.
That's good to know. And your email is there. So if anyone have any questions about that, even if you've never cruised, I mean, I've been trying to get a group of people that I met here just to do a 3-day, and so far no one. I think they're just so afraid. So I need to probably just send them your way and for you to convince them, because you can say all the things because you've been on every type of ship, So I think that would be, I probably have to take that route.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Yeah.
I love this. I'm learning a lot of different things. How has visiting other cultures, including, the non-restricted place that you went, I would say the land of don'ts, other cultures expanded your understanding of God's creativity and presence around the world? Because we see, even actually, you are that person. We went to Colorado. And I talk about it all the time, of the beautiful mountains and how we experienced 4 seasons in one day. And, we got out right before the world shut down.
Right. It was like a couple of days.
To see God's creation in travel. And I know recently you went on your first, I don't know if it was your first, but it was like a winter, like cold season, winter cruise.
It wasn't a cruise, it was land. It was a land trip. It was land. It was London, Rome, Paris, Amsterdam, back to London. And it was London, chilly, Rome, cold, Paris, very cold, Amsterdam, freezing.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. And I've always vowed, and it's interesting that you say that, because on my, everybody knows me that I refuse to go to Alaska. Why do I refuse to go to Alaska? Because Alaska is during the summer months. So I'm expected to pack a coat, boots, hat, scarf. That's not the kind of suitcase that I want to take with me. So I will never go to Alaska. So of course, when I came back and I'm talking about my trip, they were saying, "How is it that you booked a trip to go to Europe in the winter?"
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? It just never even dawned on me, because I was going for different reasons. Like my niece was celebrating her birthday. So that's why we went in February. And then we just decided to do everything else, not even thinking about the weather, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But when we got there, it was a rude awakening. But just going to these different countries, to these different places, and just being able to experience the environment, the views, the city, the countries. It's just all amazing. It's all amazing. I can go back to Saudi Arabia. I spent 9 weeks in Saudi Arabia. And sand. Yeah. Maybe that's why I hate sand now.
That could be why. It could be why.
There was just sand all over the place.
You've been scarred.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I've been scarred now that I'm thinking about it, But it was just interesting just to go to Saudi Arabia. You read about all these countries, you read about these places, but just to experience it is amazing. And let me just give you a quick story. You talked about how I see God in whatever I do and in the different cultures. Saudi Arabia does not allow you to practice your own religion to the point that if you take anything with you, some people, they bring their little Psalms or their little New Testament and they put it in their suitcase. I don't know how they find it, but sure enough, they find it, they take it out, and they don't just throw it away, they rip it up in front of you.
Really?
So you're not getting that back. Yeah. So you cannot practice religion.
Wow.
Magazines. I used to get Ebony magazine. I don't know if you're familiar with Ebony magazine. I had a subscription with Ebony magazine. They would cut out every picture in there that has a female.
Really?
So can you imagine you're reading an article, you turn the page, and because on one side there was a picture of a female, you don't get the rest of the story because they literally cut it out with the scissors. So it's not as if they rip it up. They cut it out with the scissors and then give you the magazine all in shreds. I mean, it was crazy, but that's what they did. So they don't allow certain things. As a female in that country, you are to be seen and not heard. And so 4 of us went down to the town to go to the post office to buy some stamps. Now we go to the post office, we go in, and it's packed with men. And you know how they speak loud and they're aggressive and they're talking and talking. So they're speaking loud, so we can't hear ourselves. So of course we raise our voices in order to hear each other. So we're trying to figure out who's going to buy the stamps. So we're putting our money together and we say, okay, you go and get the stamps and we'll wait right here. But as we're doing this, all of a sudden there was silence. Every single one of those men, there must have been about 50 men in this small post office. They just stopped talking. And of course now, because we didn't realize that they stopped talking, we're talking.
And the attention is on you.
All we heard was the postmaster shouted, "Women are to be seen and not heard." And we looked up and all of these men are looking at us.
Oh my goodness. And
all 4 of us turned around and ran out. They chased us. We got separated. I ran into some store.
I can't even imagine you running.
Believe me. Oh yeah, we ran, and we had the habaya on, the black. But we had to run because we didn't know what they were going to do. So we ended up splitting up. In the end, we all just got on different buses, and when we got back to where we were staying, we gathered together. But we realized that in that culture, so of course now, anywhere that we go, we don't say anything. Another thing is, like I said about religious activities, don't do it. But I met a midwife, and she goes to church. And I said, "You do?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "You want to come?" I was like, "Yeah."
Underground?
Believe me, it was underground. So she says, you need to go up to the top of the street and make sure you're there on time. And a van is going to come by. The van is going to come. All the windows will be dark. No one's going to get out. All they're going to do is stop and the door will open. You just get in. I will be in the back.
Wow.
Just get in. Don't ask no questions. Don't say anything. Don't talk to anyone. Just get in. I said, okay. So my friends are like, are you seriously going? I said, yeah, I want to go to church. And they're like, you're not allowed to do that. I said, that's okay. I'm good. Got in the van, got there, and they drove. I don't know how far it was, but it was a long drive.
Yeah.
Back roads. I mean, really in the deep parts of it. narrow roads and rough roads and sand and oh my goodness. Anyway, we eventually got to the building, which looks like a house.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go in the doors, you go down the stairs and down the stairs, and then you get into this open area, and it's a church. Benches, a pew, Bibles, tambourine. I was excited. I saw tambourine. And so we had church.
Wow.
And I did that 3 weeks in a row.
Wow.
4th week, I said, I'm not coming. And she says, why not? I said, I just don't feel like coming this week. She said, okay, I'll see you on Sunday, because first day of the week was Sunday. So we'd have Friday, Saturday off as weekend, and then we go start work on Sunday. She said, I'll see you on Sunday. I said, okay. I go to work on Sunday, and she says, Patricia, you are a witch. I said, what? She said, you're a witch. I said, why? What did I do?
Did they find the church?
She said, do you know that I went to church yesterday and they raided it? The military police came in. She said everyone had to scatter. They just ran. They didn't even know where they were going, but they just had to run. They arrested the pastor. They tore up all the Bibles. They destroyed the benches. I said, oh my goodness. She said, what made you not go? And I said, I just didn't feel like going.
That was the Holy Spirit. You didn't even know it.
Of course. And I say that now. I said, the Lord spoke to me, but at that time, I wasn't fully aware of when God speaks. I just know that I didn't feel like going, and so I didn't go.
Wow.
And that's how I know that God is always with me. No matter what, I know that He's protecting.
Beyond the destination.
There you go. He just guides.
Oh, wow.
When He speaks, you have to listen. You have to hear. Another time, we went to this house party. So when we got there, the prince's son is in a room. And I'm like, why is the prince's son here? And they said, oh, he likes to hang out with us, because these were American guys. So you have the American guys and the British girls, and we all get together. So they said that he likes to hang out with them. I said, I don't like this. They said, don't be a spoiled sport. You're always spoiling things. I said, I'm leaving. I need to leave. And they're like, well, we're not going. I said, okay, you guys can stay, but I need someone to take me back, because where it was, I couldn't go on my own. So someone needed to drive me. So I found this guy and I said, can you please just take me back to where I live? He said, okay, no problem. So he took me back. Maybe an hour and a half later, all the girls come running in. You are a witch. You are a witch. I said, I'm no witch. What happened? We got raided. The prince's son, the father found out that he was there hanging out with them, came in. The guy that lives in the apartment was arrested, put in prison. To this day, we don't know if he survived.
Wow.
To this day. Wow. I know God is really on my side, covering me, protecting me, directing me. And that's why I always feel like no matter what goes on in my life, whatever happens, it's so long as I stay tuned in with Him, I'll be okay. Because
wow, that's beautiful.
These are experiences that I've had, just in traveling and just going different places, doing different things. He's always there with me. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's such a good reminder. I have a friend that just got back from Guatemala with her dad, and just to think, and she shared some experiences. She went to Fiji, she went to Cape Cod, and those were, I think, some of the countries that she had the pleasure of visiting. But to realize that no matter where you go, God is there. And some people feel like, oh, He's a God of America, or He's a white God, or He's a black God, or He's only in my room or in my church. No, He's a God of the universe.
Yes,
yes.
Yes.
It's just a beautiful thing to, my dream is to still travel, even outside of cruising. I believe, and I tell people, cruising is the easiest way. I was like, if you want to hit countries, go on a cruise, right?
That's right.
But I also want to experience destination, like going direct to countries, like you had those experiences. And I just think that's so beautiful. So beautiful. And I know you really love what you do. We're going to wrap up soon, and this is to be continued. I'll have you on again in the new year.
Okay.
This was a long time coming. We should have done this when I started.
Right. I guess I think because I just never feel like I have a story, really.
I was going to I think that's what it was. And I'm like, everyone has a story. I mean, even Everyone have a story. And I think for me, and I get what you mean, because I was sharing with someone this last week and I said, even accepting Christ, you accepted Christ at 11. I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was 7. And when the day of baptism, I said, no, I'll wait till next year. I think just whatever reason. Right. And I'm like, what sin would I commit? Or what story would I have to tell? And after my divorce in 2017 is when I actually had, I would say, a testimony or a way that I saw God just work through me. And now here I am interviewing people to share their stories, and we're, just exchanging stories. And I'm like, God is so good, because he sets us up in ways that we would never know. And you even sharing that story, somebody could be like, oh my gosh, I experienced something like that. When, and God showed up, or he spoke to me, and some people think it's their consciousness or, but it's God, it's the Holy Spirit that's within us that just warns us. And sometimes we go against his will.
This is true.
I love that.
Yep. I mean, I ever since you started her story, I would think about it. I'm like, I don't have a story to tell though. I mean, what could I talk about? I mean, my life is just, as far as I'm concerned, just pretty normal day to day, but talking now, I'm just like, wow, I guess there was a story in there somewhere.
And more. There's more. There's much more to Pat. Much more. So before we end, I'm gonna play a game. Sometimes I play it, sometimes I forget to do it with the guests. I'm gonna say a word and you fill in the blank. Whatever comes to mind. I call it What You Heard. So let's see. Foot. Mm-hmm. So you're going to fill in the blanks. I say foot, and what comes to mind?
Loose.
There you go. Cruising.
Vacation.
Okay. London.
Home.
Beautiful. I wanted to end with, I'm glad you said that word, because I wanted to end with that word, home. And this feels like home. I mean, we always hit it off. I don't even know. It was what, early 90s, I would say, that we met in the 90s?
Yeah. Well, whenever you came to Trinity.
Yeah.
But I think
whenever you came.
More. No, I came to Trinity. I think I was at Trinity before you. Maybe
I came 1990.
1990?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I used to visit.
Okay. I was going to say, whenever you bought your tambourine.
Right, and that's what I used to do.
Because you had your tambourine.
I used to go to what's the church down Brooklyn Tab. So I go to Brooklyn Tab, and then if I wanted to play my tambourine, I come to Trinity.
I love that.
Yeah,
but I'll definitely have you on again. It might not just be you. I might do a little special with some other ladies. But yeah, this was really good. And I really want our viewers, this episode will be shared. Please check Patricia out. She is a beautiful soul, always fabulous in spite of. And God just has a special hand on her. So you can visit her at footloosetravel.org. Also, this is her email. Pat, do you have anything coming up for the new year that you want the people to know, or we'll just follow you?
Just follow me. I'm working on some things for next year. Awesome. Just haven't put them together, especially, with all this back and forth and things going on with my family. Just sort of put a pause on things, but definitely things are coming up in the new year that I'll be sharing, and I appreciate the platform. Thank you so much for taking the time to get me here, because you really worked hard on getting me here.
Yes, I'm glad you made it happen. Any last words, any words of encouragement you want to leave with our viewers?
Well, just know that whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever you say, God is in it. And once the Lord is rooted in you, I feel like I'm like a palm tree where no matter how you get bent, you're going to rise again. And so that is what we need to establish within ourselves, is that challenges will come, tests will come. But as long as you're rooted and grounded in the word, as long as you know God, he will definitely take you through. And I've had some challenges, but you know what? Like I said, I'm fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, Clavia. I really appreciate it. You take care.
You too, buddy. All right, that was another amazing episode. I love Pat. We don't talk as much as we used to, but every time we talk, we can't get off the phone unless we have a meeting or something coming up. But I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. Just a friendly reminder that you are chosen for such a time as this, and there's no one like you, so just be you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And if you would like to be a guest on this show or to learn how you can contribute to future episodes, I really want to do in-person episodes, but that takes money. So you can email me to find out more. And again, you are blessed. Continue to be bold, be brave, and be beautiful. Thank you.